Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always, and thank you for all your kind comments, likes, subscribes, shares, etc, etc, all very much appreciated. Right, we're gonna get straight into it today. I had a question on the channel regarding the use of IK foamer, IK sprayer, one of the same. I can't remember what the query was on, but they're essentially the same thing. One delivers foam, one delivers spray. So I've got a little bit of analysis to look at on those. Currently one's filled with Halfords Advanced Snow Foam and the other one is filled with Auto Bright Direct Citrus Pre-Wash. Obviously, as well as doing some tests and a bit of discussion about the foamer and sprayer, obviously the car's getting cleaned. She's nice and dirty, got plenty of dirt sat on it. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We've got Auto Glim Polar Wash in the MJJC, selection of wheel brushes in the wheel bucket. We've got Auto Wheel for the wheels, Polar Seal for the LSP as usual. I may not shoot this part, but I'm going to do a very sprightly hoover on the Fab and recoat the leather with the Ultimate Leather Balm because it is wonderful. And you're going to have to excuse me while I get the notepad just to go over a few things that are mildly interesting. So in the IK sprayer we have got 20 ml of Auto Bright Direct Citrus Pre-Wash in 1 litre of fluid. The bottle costs 15 quid. That is average price on Amazon, on a Google search today, just looking across shopping and taking a median price. That's £15 a litre. So 20 ml of product costs 30p. That is 50 to 1 for general cleaning. So 30p for that. Halfords foam, they recommend 100 ml of product in 500 ml of water as a starting point. I've always found that to be ever so slightly too thick in the MJJC. It's only a small car, so I've got 650 ml of water with 100 ml of product, so slightly weaker than recommended, and that is in the IK foamer. And that is £13 for 2.5 litres, and 100 ml, which is what I've used, would cost 52p. Wonderful. And we've got Auto Glim Polar Wash. That says to use it 50-50. There's no way I'm doing that. That's ridiculous because then you go through it like the clappers. So I've got 100 ml in 500 ml of water in the MJJC. And that would work out 69p per wash. And also it would mean you're going to get 25 washes out of that bottle, as opposed to if you use the manufacturer's recommended amount, using 250 ml of product in 250 ml of water. It says to use it 50-50. You'd only get 10 washes. Not for me. Not for me. So that's quite interesting. And then Polar Seal, 4 caps, which is 40 ml in no less than 200 ml of water. That costs £17.79 for 1,000 ml. Therefore, that bottle gives you 25 total treatments, and that is 71 pence per application. So in total, with the 4 products I'm using today, it's going to cost £2.22 for a winter maintenance wash and protect, done to a reasonably good standard. I think there may be one other thing. Built Hamber Auto Wheel. So they suggest, when I googled it this morning, they suggest each squirt of a pump sprayer is 1.3, 1.4 or 1.5 mil. I tend to use 6 if the wheels aren't super dirty, but let's say for argument's sake we're going to do 10 strokes, 10 squirts per wheel. That would an average of 1.4 mil per squirt. So that is 14 mil per wheel. So all the wheels, 56 mil of product. and 1 litre costs £17.49 today, 2025, January. And that means you get 18 cleans out of a bottle, and it costs 97p every time you use it. So we can add that to my totaliser, £2.22 plus 97p, £3.19. £3.19 for everything. Happy days. Right, so what did I discover about the IKs? Again, apologies for notepad, etc., but it's required. So let's start off with sprayer. So we're going to talk about the product, and we can look at the delivery, obviously, and we'll talk about some of the elements that help you get the best out of it, and we'll talk about the bits that you get with it, which I've been and found this morning. So at the moment, I've got the fan nozzle, but it also comes with a stream. It's adjustable, so it does a stream or a mist. I've always just kept with the fan nozzle, and that does me fine. You also have the coloured handle tips to tell you whether it's acid or alkaline. I don't use them because I found it a pain to remove once I'd installed them. So that's that for the sprayer. And then we have the foamer. This must be, both of these products are coming up to 2 years old. And you can see in my packet of accessories that I've still got all 10 filters. So I've never used any. I always clean it, run fresh water through it, generally look after my tools and equipment quite well. You also get the alkaline or acid handle tip, again, which I don't use. And you also get 2 alternative pickup tips. That is installed underneath the mount, the top bit, the cap, shall we call it. Anyway, so it comes installed with like an intermediate tip, which gives you intermediate foam, and it also has another tip which will do a wetter foam, i.e. thinner and runnier, and it also comes with a tip that will make it drier and therefore thicker. I've tested them all before in a previous video where I put this through its paces using Built Hammer Touchless, I believe, from memory, and I've always stuck with the thicker or drier foam, and that serves me a treat, and that is the green one which is installed now. So that is the accessories. So someone had asked on one of my videos, mine doesn't perform like that. All I can get in it is 15 pumps, and then it lasts seconds and it's dead. So I sent it back. So I said, you know, right, I can certainly give you some tips on how to get the best out of it, and I've been doing that this morning. Thrilling, eh? That's hence the pad. Been doing some calculations, and after I'd done those calculations, I thought I'll do some calculations on price as well, which I've never normally done, but found it quite interesting this morning. You know, you're slinging around product, etc., etc. I'm looking at how the product performs, the delivery, the performance, the smell, the results, but I rarely do costs. So that was quite an interesting aside whilst I was in analytics mode. Anyway, so number one tip for getting the best out of these is not to overfill them. I mean, the marker goes up to 1.5 litres, but if you fill it to 1.5 litres, there's only this much air gap. And the air, let's think of the air as the propellant. There's a tiny bit of propellant and a huge amount of liquid. You are not going to get enough strokes in to deliver that liquid for a reasonable duration. Anyway, so I did some tests this morning. I filled both up to 1.5 litres with water, then pumped it up and then sprayed it and timed how long it'd spray for, and how much fluid it could deliver in that overall maximum spray time. And by that I mean the amount of time it was actually spraying at a usable amount, not just dribbling out the end, still coming out with a fair degree of force. So either the end of the test was if it dribbled out and it was no longer usable, or it used all the product, which you'll be surprised, some tests it did. So let's go over that. Let's get the sprayer, the foamer. standard thing. I read what it said on the front. So, the foamer. I did 1.5 litres in here, and then it would take 40 pumps until the little pressure release valve went off. And then it would only spray for 15 seconds, and then it was over. And that delivered 1/4 of a litre of fluid. I was impressed by the amount of fluid it delivered, but not so impressed with the the duration. So that was, as I say, 40 pumps, 15 seconds. Rubbish. So then I put 1 litre of water in, and that took 84 pumps. Amazing. 84 pumps. The difference was stratospheric. So 84 pumps, and then it would deliver the liquid for 23 seconds, and it delivered over 250 ml. So slightly more than before, not a huge amount, not a stratospheric amount, but over 1/4 of a litre. So an improvement in the duration and an improvement in the quantity delivered. Next up, I put in 0.75 litres, and that took 102 pumps, and it sprayed for 27 seconds. So that is easily, from what I'm thinking in practical terms, that was enough. That would be enough to get around half a car. And it delivered 1/2 litre of liquid. Fascinating. Fascinating. So that was good. And with that in mind, for today's test, around about the sweet spot, 1 litre mixed up. Obviously, it's only a small car, but we need to make sure we've got enough to get round it. Another thing to consider is I'm only testing with water in the kitchen earlier. So you have to imagine that when you start putting in foam in the sprayer, or wheel cleaner, wheel shampoo, anything, Surfex HD, anything that's got a thickness to it, that's probably going to cause additional restriction at the nozzle, and therefore slow the delivery, and potentially you would get a slightly longer spray time. Excuse me. Anyway, exactly the same test with the Multi Pro 2. So with it filled up to 1.5 litres and fully pumped up, that was approximately 30 pumps. Believe it or not, this sprayed for 1 minute and delivered 1/2 litre of fluid. Amazing. And I imagine it's because the nozzle is restricting, the fan nozzle and the fan pattern is restricting the delivery or the quantity that's coming out, and therefore you're not losing the pressure so quick, and it can deliver the product for longer. So you get 1 minute, 30 pumps, 1 minute, happy days. That's pretty much enough to get round with citrus pre-wash, which we will see in a moment. So then we tried it with 1 litre of water. That took 47 pumps, and it delivered for 2 minutes, 2 whole minutes, and delivered 1 litre quantity of fluid. And obviously, giving this some thought, I did this early morning, but it didn't strike me. But if it's delivering 1 litre, when you've got 1 litre of fluid, when I went on to do the 0.75 litre fill, and then did 62 pumps to get it full, it could only deliver for 1 minute 34, and then it was empty. So with the with the Multi Pro 2, your sweet spot is 1 litre. Hence why today we have 1 litre of liquid in here. It took 47 pumps to fill it up. It will spray for 2 whole minutes, and it will deliver that whole litre. So it's still full. Obviously, I pumped it up in the kitchen. It's had time to have a sort of residual leak away, if you like. And as you would expect, it will take a couple of pumps just to get that release valve to go again. Right. So with all that waffle out the way, let's have a little look at the dirt, which is standard practice. So the Fabia is filthy. Lovely and filthy. And I'd like to point out that I wouldn't normally do, unless the car was absolutely rancid and I was doing a test to show the layering capabilities of pre-wash and foam on top, or if I was doing just the capabilities of pre-washing on its own on one panel versus snow foam on its own on another panel. Normally I wouldn't layer up the two. However, because I'm using the sprayers, I want to discuss the sprayer and the foamer. I want to discuss real world practical usage, see if we can get round half the car with a foam and then a pump, and we'll see how many pumps it takes, and then we'll do the other half. Hopefully that should be enough. And technically speaking, if the pre-wash in the sprayer will deliver liquid for 2 minutes to a reasonable level and use up all of the product, in theory, I shouldn't have to pump it again. In theory. Right, so let's get the wheels dwelling, and then we'll get them a rudimentary cleanse, and then we'll get straight into, come on, phew. Then we'll get into having a look at the delivery on the foamer and the sprayer. So we'll just get into these, get this squared away nice and quick. Always get a couple in the exhaust tip, irrespective of what car it is, Foz or Fab. I did water this down as well, so that's another thing to consider. Because Auto Wheel is so good, so powerful, you can water it down up to 50%, I believe, if you're not cleaning the dirtiest wheels on the planet. So I reckon I did 75% pure Auto Wheel in there, and then I did 25% on top with a small amount, on top with water. Sorry, my brain wandered. My brain wandered. Who knew? Who knew? Right. So just moving my notepad. Right, let's get these done at pace. As I say, the key purpose for today's video was to have a look at practical usage of the IKs. They're one of those products where, you know, I use them almost on a weekly basis. And if you think anything that foams when you put it in your bucket, the thought process is this: if it foams when you put it in your bucket, the chances are when you put it in the IK foamer, similarly, you will get foam. It will emit foam. So for me, I have tested Surfex HD, Chemical Guys, Fabric Cleaner, Touchless, all of the Polar range, and what else? Oh, Auto Bright Direct Just Wheels. That performs well in the IK foamer. Another thing to remember as well is people are obsessed with foam. it doesn't have to foam to perform well. So you can just use the same product but in the sprayer. The only thing you sacrifice is that you don't get the dwell time. So in the winter, when it's nice and moist, cold and moist, you don't need the dwell time. You can just let the product hang on the panel, deliver it from the sprayer, let it hang on the panel. Right, that's that done with zero fuss as per normal. So I will get those all done off cam, and then we'll start looking at the delivery from the IK sprayer for the citrus pre-wash. Right, so that is wheels done. We have IK Multi-Pro 2 in hand ready, and apologies about my workstation, but we will try to hit the trigger and start the timer, and we'll see how far we get round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here for its own safety, give or take a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Lock off, and we'll see. So we'll do standard coverage, starting from the top, working down. Don't mind an extra go over the wheels. I always like to neutralise any chemicals used. Let's get the top done. Still got reasonable pressure, nothing groundbreaking, but the pressure is there. It's warm water, if you're wondering. A little bit on the wheels. Still happy with the delivery. Move a little bit closer just to ensure that ever so slightly diminished spray is reaching the panel. Get the roof done. That should be adequate. Just need the bonnet and the front bumper to get some love. And from earlier tests, this should have just enough pressure to decant the entire quantity of the product. This is a 2-year-old IK, relatively well cleaned and cared for, but you know, not loved like the Subaru per se. You know, I don't mother it, so we're starting to get low on liquid. As you can hear, when I was angled, it was starting to have a little protest. But we have got total coverage of the entire car and a little bash in all the wheels. So we'll make sure we got adequate on this because it was absolutely rancid. So there we go. Still coming out, albeit at a reduced pace. Almost all the product gone. So I'm trying to film and look at dirt. There we have it. Totally and utterly empty, and we better get back to the timer There we go. Whole lot gone. No additional pumping whatsoever. Wonderful. Easy peasy. Right. It's a big question now. If I foam it again straight away, then it leads that question, did the citrus clean it, or did the foam clean it? So let's 50-50 the boot, eh? The boot's the dirtiest part. Let's get the camera on a tripod. We'll 50-50 the boot. Right, now, real time, and then we'll do the same test to deliver the foam, and that'll give us an opportunity to see, let me think, if we 50-50 this side, we'll see how this looks with just citrus pre-wash. Then I'll layer foam up on this and we'll see how it gets on with a layered approach. I had a Homer Simpson moment. Brain just realised that no matter how I slice it, we can't see a panel that has just foam. That opportunity, that bird has flown. That ship has sailed. No drama. Right, so I'm going to try and work away. Well, I'll get in close for when we do another bit. It's actually done remarkably well, which is often the case with citrus pre-wash. You know, it's not as fun as foam, but it gets the job done. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's get the foamer and do same thing again. Not that one, this one, same thing again. I'll put the camera here while I do a couple of pumps. Let's get that on the floor. That noise is irritating. That's full. So, we've got 100ml of Halfords Advanced Snow Foam in 900ml liquid. So, made up to a full litre. And I mean, that delivery's fine. Like I was saying earlier, I know people, they love foam, but this is perfectly adequate. This will drag the dirt down, perfectly adequate in this weather. Right, I haven't done the timer. Reset, go, spray. Got obsessed with starting to look at how the foam was being delivered. Right, let's go for total car coverage. We're not going thick white blanket. We're going total car coverage. And you have to remember that as we deplete the contents of the foamer, yes, it will take a few more pumps next time, but it will squirt for longer. So, 37 seconds, not good. Right, so let's put that there, put that there. I will pump and count. Whew. That was exactly 100 pumps. Apologies for the quiet, I like to think. Right, so this is going to be speedy to get over it. With what's left. But I don't mind speed. I don't mind speed. So you can see why I took the decision to do citrus and foam, to make sure I had full coverage. Now, that's it. Previous viewers of the channel will know that I've done the entire polar wash system, polar kit system, with the IK foamer, and then I was challenged to also do the exact same process with the IK sprayer. Both methods totally achievable, no drama. So what we know from today is could have had twice the amount of foam. Twice the amount of foam. Maybe I'll do it right now. Let's just get that filled up and then we'll get round just so we can look at the foam quality, because that's also an important consideration. Let's rinse that off, shall we? Let's rinse that off. And we'll also see what we can get out of it in terms of quality of foam and total coverage. But I'm not saying this is perfectly acceptable for a clean. It just doesn't provide you with that, oh look, it's covered in shaving foam vibe. Let's do this bit first, eh? Need to move my extension out the way. Well, that's lovely, lovely. Fun times as always. Any regular viewers of the channel, just in case you're wondering, the Filthy Mondeo video is coming. It's finished, I've put it on iMovie, I've edited it, exported it. It is sitting ready to go and it'll be uploaded tomorrow at 7, Sunday. See some grot. It's nothing like seeing grot come off. I mean, the thickness is all right. The thickness is all right as it goes. You know, we're getting that cling and dwell. It's good. I'd found previously that the amount of work required to get the halfords auto foam off exceeded, that will remove some of the pleasure because it's so thick. You can see it's still got that sort of thickness to it. Even though, you know, we had admittedly, a sparse covering. So So you can clearly see that it's still thick when it's sort of pushed together by the action of the pressure washer. There was some nice dirt sat up here, and now not. See how it gets on with this. Standard road grime, probably from being behind lorries. And yes, you're right, it is still sheeting to dry. Wonderful. So still perfectly thick enough, still doing an adequate job. No pumps required for the citrus other than the initial pump, and only one additional pump required to decant all of the foam and it perform to an adequate level. Right, I'll get that all rinsed, make sure I get up inside the arches, which is a favourite signature move of mine. I'm sure everyone does the same, it's not anything new. I'll get that all pressure washed. I'll go and reset, refill and reset the IK foamer, and we'll put in 1000ml liquid and 200ml of product manufacturer's stated recommended dosage, and we'll see how that gets on. I'll get this rinsed and then, as I say, come back out and we'll put the foam on again. That is purely to satisfy the foam lovers out there. So just before I nip in and grab the refreshed IK foamer, replenished IK foamer, this is just to prove it has done a remarkable job. A remarkable job. Weak Halfords Advanced Snow Foam, very small amount of citrus pre-wash, delivered with nothing else than a IK foamer and an IK multi-sprayer, and the car is very close to clean, exhibiting a nice level of shine. And you know, I say this a lot in my videos, but you know, we're close. As you'll remember from the start, the boot, the bum was filthy, and for me there is no requirement to foam it again, but we're going to, purely in the name of science, so we can go through and have a look at what the manufacturer's stated amount of Halfords Advanced Snow Foam performs like in the IK foamer. And also I will not show, but I will count the number of pumps required, and I will let you know. It's going to be in the region of coming up for 200, I reckon, but we shall see. I'll go and reset that now. So we have 200ml of product in 800ml of liquid, and it took 61 pumps. One panel, just starting to need a bit more pressure. We'll call that done. Maybe just enough for that quarter. I'll speed this bit up. $82. I can't count and talk. Nice. Nice. So not the shaving foam we were hoping for, but perfectly adequate nonetheless. Right, one last pump. Again, I will speed it up, and that has used, we're almost gone. Whew. Whew. That's 105. There's not enough product. Oh, and it went. Perfectly adequate foam. Like I say, not quite that thick layer of shaving foam. Anyway, I'm not wasting any more product doing another one of those, but what I will do is a follow-up. Sure, we've covered it before, but let's do the same again, but we'll do touchless, and we'll put Polar Blast through it, and we'll put, maybe not Halfords Advanced again. I've got some Garage Therapy snow foam that we can test, so we'll put it through its paces with a variety of different snow foams. Just get in for a close-up on the bonnet so we can have a look at the thickness. So you can see it's starting to exhibit that standard Halfords Advanced thickness that turns out it takes ages to rinse. You can see you get sort of swages of it. You know, when the water hits it, it still remains a little bit sort of gelatinous, as you can see. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's giving it time to do its job. Lovely. Anyway, I'll get that all rinsed, and then we'll get on the extra stingy, economical, I should say, portion of Polar Wash. Right, let's see how we get on with the extra efficient amount of Polar Wash. So we've not gone half and half, we've got 100 ml and then 500 ml of water. We shall see. give it a shake, hope for the best. Absolutely fine. As you'd imagine. I mean, a lot of these manufacturers, you know, they just recommend far too much. So that's fine for my contact wash. We've got plenty. We're straight in on maximum. No messing about. Because it's only a small car. Nice coverage, plenty thick enough for a quick 2 bucket. Make sure we've got the front. We've got loads left. Make sure it's on max. Get her all coated. That is fine. 100ml of product instead of 250ml. We'll have a look at the slickness in a moment. Right, that's that done. Let's have a quick tickle, see what it feels like. Obviously, it's not about saving as much money as possible. We want to be kind to the paint. Lovely. You can feel the lubricity in your hand. Nice. So, nice straight lines. No pressure at all. Flip, inspect, proceed. Simple as that. And we will just work through in that same manner. Nice and gently. Just gliding across the panel. Lovely. Inspect pad. Give her a dunk for good measure. And continue. Always inspect after doing lowers. That's fine. Little tickle under the wipers. Nothing major. Have a little push on this side of the bonnet. And that is dip time. So I'll buzz around that. What do you reckon? 3 minutes? 3 minutes. Straight line, stroke, S pattern, flip. In some of the details. Pour in the grills, fog lights, headlight. Vertical lines for the grille. Number plate. Might pick up some dirt. Inspect. Dunk. Proceed. Easy. Easy and a flip. We'll get the upper glass out the way. Wing mirror. Front wing. Glass, as I say. Try and do the same process as before. A little dab on the uppers. And we'll go in with a clean mitt for the lower part of the door. Do the bottoms first, at last, because that's where we know we might pick up some grizzle from either wash media coming in contact with the lower part of the sill, or any grime that has escaped the power of the Halfords Advanced Snow Foam, which I'm becoming quite fond of, I must say. It's not a flip. Just say to yourself, is it a flip? Is it a dip? Is it a flip or is it a dip? That one was a dip. I'd been close to the bottom of the bumper. Underneath the boot lid, little tickle around the exhaust pipe, and that's us done. I wasn't timing it, but it's done. Nonetheless. Well, camera timer looks favourable. Test squirt, obviously. And we're at the lovely zone. The lovely zone. Pardon me. Easy. What I will say, what I meant to say was, while I was rinsing the second go of snow foam off, it was forever, obviously, as predicted. Anyway, I'll get that finished off cam and then we'll get into last couple of bits. Right, we'll just get round that last bit and then we'll have a little bash at the hoovering, a little bit of the suck and tickle method, brush and tickle method, suck and tickle method. So a nice coating of Polar Seal. Wheels, glass, roof, everything. Test squirt, a little nose at the results, and then we'll get it done and dried. Wonderful as always. Fabia VRS. There. Right, I'll get her rinsed and then we'll get that dried at breakneck speed, and then we'll have a little tickle with a hoover and a little smash over the leather. Not because it desperately needs doing, but because I enjoyed it so much when I done it 3 months ago. Let's do it again, get it coated, it makes it smell nice, feels nice, etc, etc. And I haven't been loving the inside as much as I should. Plus, I have some new plastic treatment products to use, Chemical Guys VRP, that we'll test on the dash. That'll be an indoorsy one, so I won't touch the dash today. I can shoot that tomorrow. And I've also got Maguire's Interior Detailer to try. That'll also be an indoorsy one. We can do that tomorrow. half the car with one, half with the other. So let's just make sure that's all mixed in, liberally spread around, liberally distributed, etc, etc. And then we will dry. Have a little look at a part of the hoovering that I've yet to finalise nicely or achieve a good result on the Fabia. So we'll have a little look at that. Little splash of the leather cleaner. Get her looking half nice with a reasonable layer of protection on it. And that is her lot. Just going to make a new spot for the camera. Excuse me, won't take a moment. Ooh. Not a lot to do with the Fab, which is good. Get this round here. Get her there for a moment. Get the dry done, which won't take long, with a nice coat of Polar Seal. And I can afford to rush this part because when I finished hoovering, I can just come back and tickle the last bit just to make sure we've got no usual suspects. Dribbles out the grill, dribbles from the door handles, dribbles from the wing mirrors, etc, etc. You know the bits I mean. So I'll just smash around that. It's one of the absolute pleasures really of winter maintenance washes, when it's not for someone else and you know the car's not getting, you know, it's not going to get bone dry. It's going to stay with a degree of moisture on it, and within an hour, or when we lose light, it'll be exhibiting a good level of moisture again. Let's pop this up here for now. So you can afford to cut a few corners. I moved the camera too early. That's its next position for the hoovering, but not ideal for the quick dry method. So I'm excited. Gave myself another couple of ideas. We'll do the plastics tomorrow, half and half. Bisect the car so we can test 2 plastic products. I might have 3. I might have a Maguire's ceramic plastic protector. So maybe we can shoehorn that in somewhere as well. We shall see. And in case you're wondering, I know I'd made a short recently saying I'm never buying any more Maguire's. Well, I had a voucher from work to celebrate 30 years of service, believe it or not. And I gave £100 to my daughter just as a little cheeky top up for Christmas presents, gifts for her, and I probably bought a couple of bits for myself, and then with the remaining 90 quid I just went in and bought a little top up of products. Halfords Advanced Snow Foam, Halfords Ceramic Spray, and anything else that took my fancy while I was in there. And that's what I was saying. Maguire's have brought out new, more robust bottles, and they had a couple of products that I hadn't tried before. So I thought I'll give them a whirl. And you know what? As much as one of my earliest and semi-successful YouTube videos I did was about, I think I did some Maguire's Ultimate Black Plastic Restorer on the scuttle of the Foz up against probably Pearl. And whilst, you know, the Pearl maybe just clinched it in terms of black intensity, it was weird. After a week, Pearl still winning. After a month, Pearl still winning. But then Pearl dropped off and Maguire's side remained pretty well impregnated with a good level of black. Right, excuse the rattling. Just going to move some things around. Get the Hoover. And we'll have a look at that. So, down that little gap is where I've never managed to fully hoover. So I've got the smallest detailing brush I could find. I'm going to see how much of that I can dig out using brush and suck method. This is where I need a DJI head mount. Well, move the Hoover a minute. It might not be perfect, but I'll go around and show you the other side. And it was awful. So hopefully you can see that. That grime in there is what I've been struggling to get. And I didn't want to take the seats out. So, get a good idea of that. You can see where brush and tickles got us to. Right, let's get this car hoovered. Quickly split. And if it's of any interest, these, AliExpress, less than £2, they have never moved. Right, I'll get into that, get that done. I'll show you the results of brush and tickle method on the other side, and then we'll get into leather. I might have to accept the fact that I'm going to have to remove the seats to achieve perfection in that area. Anyway, front's nice. Grab product. Back's nice. I put a dirty footprint on the floor. Very upsetting. So let's get straight in do a bit of leather. I'll do this one on cam, and then the rest off cam, and then we can wrap this up, have a little look around, and we are finished. And I've got to levitate to do this because I don't want to get any dirt in the car. So it's just wind around the little applicator in the product, which is rock hard-ish. I've used this once and shared the product with my boss. I don't know if he got round to using it, but like I say, it smells lovely, it makes the leather look lovely, provides a nice moisturised, supple, semi-shiny feel. So I'll work that in, have a little look, comparison between untreated and treated, and then I will get round, get all that done, show you the end results, do a wrap up, and I'm off in to get this uploaded. Hopefully you can see as I was doing it. Treated, untreated. Clearly different. Wonderful. Same if you look at the back. Back not done, base plate done. Wonderful. Right, I'm going to get that done throughout the car, and then we'll do a wrap up, have a little nose at the end results. I'll dry the shuts, obviously, and then we're finito. See you in a moment. Right, that's that all done. So sorry about the hoovering, not on cam. Should have made more space for me and or the hoover, but I didn't. My bad. Anyway, did get the little shuts a little bit better, well, marginally better than they were, but still not perfect, so I might have to take the seats out or buy one of those hoover tube reducer from Amazon. Only about 10-15 quid. I don't know if they're any good. Let me know in the comments. Turns the big nozzle into like a straw. Anyhow, done all the leather, one portion on cam as you saw. Hopefully that's not too much drama. We've been through that product before on the channel when I reviewed it initially. However, it is looking wonderful and it smells wonderful. Reason I wanted to do it and treat the Fab a little bit is because I use the Fab like a little mobile shed. It gets used every day like the Forester used to, and I just chuck stuff in it. It was my little mobile valeting unit last week, and as I'm in it every morning to go to work or the mornings when I'm on my way into work, it's nice to have it looking nice. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. That was a whopper. I enjoyed it as always. I hope you did. Obviously there's more to do in terms of testing the foamer. Did make me think we could have also delivered the shampoo with a foamer, but I think when you're putting the shampoo on, you really want it on as quick as possible. And in fairness, if only thing you had was a foamer, you'd be just as good to go with a 2-bucket method than manually putting it on, because by the time you've pumped, gone round, it'll start sliding off and you lose, you know, the underlying principle of what it's good at, which is getting it on, getting it off quick. So you could just 2-bucket that pot. Anyway, like I say, more tests to come with the IKs. You forget just how great and how flexible they are. I use them every week. As I say, they're coming up to 2 years old. But yeah, you know, they're one of those things where if anything happened to it, I'd replace immediately. So all the stuff's packed up in the Foz. So it's Foz's turn to be valeting storage unit. So tomorrow it's going to be get out, just not showing you the logo, I'm showing you the cleanliness around the badge. So, you know, I'm not, you know, Not mad. So tomorrow I'm probably going to get another couple of videos done really. I'm going to do plastics test on this. So a couple of different plastic cleaners that I've been meaning to try. So I'll get one of them shot and in the bag. And also got filthy dirty my partner's car to do. That is absolutely rancid. So we'll get stuck into that. And obviously there's also Sunday night premiere 6 o'clock of Filthy Dirty Mondeo Clean, which I very much encourage you to have a look at. I'll be online for discussions, chat, etc., maybe some banter, who knows. Anyway, that's it for me today. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider a subscribe. If not, just continue to dial in and out casually. I'm more than happy with that. As long as you're enjoying the content, that is all that matters to me, genuinely. Anyway, I very, very much look forward to seeing you all again soon. All the very best. Take care. Goodbye.